Hey YouTube, somebody was wanting an update video for the Toyota. I was like, man, sure. I've done a whole bunch since those first few videos. Let me just bring you up to speed, remind you everything that we did do and some of the changes and where it's at now. One of the biggest changes you can see is it's got the ARB bumper on it, and I took that off of the other Toyota, because that one's going to be up for sale soon. So I don't really remember where I left off, but let's just do everything. So it runs great, by the way. One thing I did do is this window regulator was stripped, so I pulled one off a junkyard one. But it didn't fit. It was off a 90, so I had to drill a hole through it. But the window actually works now. I did have it clean, but I've been driving it a lot, and so it's already dirty. But Amazon has these seat covers, and it really made that seat look good. And just my little grocery getter and whatnot, and trash delivery vehicle. So you know me, I had to throw some subs in there and some speakers. So the stereo sounds great. And what else have I done on the inside? I've had the speedometer cable fixed, and which is also the odometer. So all that works now. Everything in here works. This is a new stereo. This was like a $12 stereo from Walmart.com. I was like, 12 bucks? Sure. I have a new faceplate for the air conditioner because you can't see anything on there, and you have to do one of these and then the light comes on. Alright, and so nothing's really different with the inside. There was a lot of garbage wires in there behind the stereo, and I fixed all those, and the amp is underneath the seat, but it's everything on the inside is real good. Headliner's good. I need to put a little cover here and a new bulb because it's really dark when the lights are off. And the horn doesn't work. I haven't fixed that yet. So the inside's pretty good. Oh, and I got to refix this. This is off that other vehicle that I stole it from. Still has the previous owner's tires on there, which are a Buckshot XMT Mutter. Can't remember who makes that. Maxxis? It didn't say. They wobble. They're out of balance. They don't leak, but they need to be replaced. I'm thinking maybe BFG's Mud Terrains or something like that. There was not a mud flap on this side, and I love the look of the mud flaps. So I just bought a $20 mud flap at a truck stop, and used the other one as a reference, put it up to each other, and just cut it out. Created my own mud flap and put it on there. So that was real easy. I do not have a spare tire for it yet, so going to town is kind of shady. I did put on new shocks. There's the new exhaust. All that stuff is just bolt on. I serviced the diff, but it looks like it's already kind of has a slow seep. It doesn't drip, but I think it just it's doing that seep thing. So that's it for the rear end. So coming down under here, I put a new catalytic converter. I cleaned, resurfaced, repainted the gas tank, put a new sending unit, hanger, float. That was the most expensive part because each one of those three things was over $100. I put a new clutch in. Well, I didn't do it, my friend did it for me. Put a new clutch in for me for 350 bucks. And if you can see that the transfer case is leaking, that's because I did not use the washer right here, and I over tightened it, and it expanded and cracked right there. So I've got just some JB weld up there, but you can see that it still has a slow, very slow seep. I replaced the CV axles. The front left one was popping and binding real bad. So Rock Auto had them for, they're pretty cheap, I think like $30 or $40 each. So it has new axles, and it's got a new slave cylinder. So while he's doing that, I was like, I'll just give him a new part, because the new slave cylinder is like $12. Now was a good time to throw it in. He cleaned up the transmission a little bit for me. Oh, and new motor transmission mounts. Still has a little dent here I need to pull out. This bumper, it's been kind of cut and pieced together from different things. You can see I don't have it hooked up yet. You can see the drum doesn't have the rope on it. I've got the stuff, I just need to put it all together. But here you can see where all the steering components are new. A new, that thing. I replaced every single steering component. And there's the new axles, they're already starting to rust. It's only been like a year. I do have a leak in this front differential. Somewhere at the end, there's a seal, and that right there is leaking. It's that's on my list of things to do. Look at that nice dry transmission pan. Those things are never dry. There are some things wrong with the engine though. Let's go take a look. Oh, look at that weird chip of paint that's rusting. Look how thick the paint is. Oh, and I've got a broken windshield, but it doesn't bother me. Not one bit. Bed looks good. The previous owner put a bed liner in here. It was just from a can. It didn't hold up, but it probably did protect it somewhat. I have never been able to find this part. I have searched high and low for this cover. I've bought two that said they would fit, and they're the wrong size, wrong shapes, wrong mounting holes. So if anybody has a lead on the one that goes all the way across, let me know. I'll pay big money for it. Oh, I did something. Oh, when I put the new axles on, I had to disassemble the hubs, and I rebuild those and clean those. So those are all good and greased. I never had the seals to replace them with, but it's on my list of things to do. Okay, in the engine, I put a new brake booster, brake master cylinder. Uh-oh. This is my clutch. And look, it looks look, it's low. Okay, so I need to inspect for leaks on that and or refill it. With the new exhaust came a new manifold. The gaskets, this is all new. And then all that downpipe is new too. I put a new cap, rotor, plugs and wires, and those are all new. What else have I done? I had the air conditioning working, and then one day it just all blew out. And it blew out from somewhere over here, so I think there was an O-ring that blew. But the air conditioner did work at one time. I just need it's winter right now, so I'm not worried about it. Some of the things I need to do is, if you can see right here, the whole radiator is not being held up because that came off, and I'm wondering if I can just braze that or spot weld that back on. Let me know if you know what I can do with that. I did do an EGR delete, which you'll notice that it does not have the air pipe hooked up. That air pipe isn't really part of the EGR. That is to add more air when idling or something, so that the catalytic converter can finish burning up the unused gas or something. But I took that off because it's a lot easier to surface all this. And then if you see back here, here's the plate for the EGR block off. And I haven't finished it though, because technically finishing the EGR delete, you can pull out some of these rails and finish capping off some items. One issue with this engine, and I'm really hoping it isn't what I think it is the spark plug back here fouled recently, and I had to replace the spark plug. And when I was tightening it back in, it just felt different. It felt like it was cross-threaded and stripped. And whenever the engine's running, it sounds like I have a hiss, a puff of air coming out of that. The engine runs fine, smooth idle, everything is smooth, but there's a light pss, 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 pss coming out of there. You know, I wonder if that might be the air coming out of here. I need to put just a dab of water on top of there and watch to see if anything's coming out of it. Other than that, the engine is rock solid. I need to check the air filter. It's been a few days. I don't have, some things that don't work is the window washing pump fluids. Wipers are garbage. I don't think these are original. If somebody knows if an 88 is supposed to have that or not. I mean, it's got Toyota written all over it, but it just looks weird, doesn't it? She's got a great stance to her. I love the tires. I'm gonna keep that size. I believe these are around 31s. I don't know what size rims these are. These are American racing rims. My friend hooked me up with a new set of rims. I'm gonna put whatever new tires are going to come on that. And I don't know what, I mean, these are still good tires, but they're only good for, you know, like off-road use, because one has a tube in them, and the other ones have so much drywall cracking that it's not safe. And I need a spare. Toyota. It is a great little truck. One thing that I pretty much leave the front locking hubs on all the time. I know it uses more gas or whatever, but this truck is so light on the rear end. I was trying to back up into my driveway one time, and in that loose gravel, one wheel was spinning and it was keeping the whole truck from backing up. And I've been at stop intersections on gravel roads, and I can't proceed up the hill through the stop sign because the rear end just will sit and spin. So the hubs are locked all the time. Oh, look, you can see right there where that is leaking, coming from right there. So I need to figure out what seal that is. Looks like I've got a rear main seal, or no, he replaced the rear main seal, so that must be, well, both of those seals are new. The transmission front input seal and the rear main seal should be new, but I've got a leak there. It's not dripping yet, but it's accumulating. I haven't done the brakes on this truck, but I have bled them a few times. But it stops on a dime. Buckshot, that's a great looking wheel. I wonder if I can reorder those wheels. I probably will. I've had to put a few new belts on. Oh, my wife almost blew this truck up. She was driving it in the field mudding one day. She calls me, she says, it's steaming a lot. There's a lot of like smoke coming from the engine. I'm like, oh God, turn it off, you're about to overblow it. You're overheating it. The coolant fan, the coolant pump belt was so weak and worn, it just wasn't even spinning. Or maybe it just completely broke. So, and these need to be replaced. One's just like an air conditioner though. One's power steering, but that is the most important one. So that's the update on the 88 Toyota pickup that I bought for $500. I love it. It is my workhorse. I usually load it full of trash and take loads to the dump, or I buy stuff on Facebook all the time, and I use this bed. And it's a good backup if the wife is using one car and the other one's in the shop getting repairs or something, or just for little cruises. It's so fun to drive. There's something weird about it being so light, so utilitarian. It's just so fun. It sure was nice to get the inside cleaned up. I mean, it was spotless, but you know, it's the second you walk through the mud, it's toast. What else? Heater works good. Man, I love this seat cover. And you have to find the one, every model is different, but this one, mine has the deep recessed thing for the four-wheel drive. So if you're doing the same seat cover, you need to make sure you match it with the depth that you have. Subs, I'd play them, but you know what subs sound like. I think I'll be like 90 years old with subs. It just makes music so much better. That's all I can think of. I mean, it needs a whole bunch more stuff, a few more leaks. They're all so low priority stuff though that might not ever do them. Tires are priority. 5 new tires. Ugh. What's that going to be, about $1,000? $1,200? It looks great with that front bumper. Well, somebody wanted the update, and I was like, man, no problem. It'll take 5 minutes. We've been recording for 12. What a great looking truck though. If anybody wants this 87 4Runner, which is fine, runs and drives great, I just don't use it anymore. It's on 33s with a solid axle swap. It's mint. It's gonna be for sale soon. Let's listen to it run. We'll do a cold start for you. It's purring like a kitten. Meow. So how much does a $500 truck cost to own? Well, it was $300 just to get the fuel system in order. It was $300 or $400 for the exhaust. It was $350 for a clutch. For the work for the clutch, $120 for the clutch. Maybe another $300 of miscellaneous seals and coolant and doodads. So you tell me. I mean, yeah, $500 truck, it does run and drive, but you can't run and drive with it. You can't go to town. And this thing is, you know, it's titled and insured and licensed and good to go. So, I mean, I think right now it'd probably be worth $3,500, $3,000. What do you think? If I've got almost 2 in it, and the motor is gonna last forever. How much would you pay for it? Oh, there's no rust. Well, I mean, there's surface rust. Let's take a look. There is surface rust there, and then the black wall there. And come down here, and you can see where there's a little bit of rust right there. But she's pretty good, isn't she? Well, found out why my clutch fluid is low. It's a brand new master cylinder is leaking. So I just went to the grocery store, and it's been maybe like 30 minutes. And remember earlier we were talking about the fluid buildup on the bottom of that, and I was telling you it has a new rear main seal, new front and transmission. And then if you look right up into there, the clutch slave cylinder is dumping out fluid. And I think they make rebuild kits, but they're like $13 for a brand new one. So, and look how easy it is to fix. It's gonna be great. 2 bolts. But doesn't that piss you off? That's all I got for you right now. Check back in later. Alright, thanks for tuning in. I got more projects coming along. I just got this Subaru Brat up and running. So if you want to see the Subaru videos, let me know. I haven't done one yet. But that thing is fun. And I bought that for $700. Okay, thanks again. Bye-bye.